So it's been an amazing experience. I really can hardly believe that it's been 9 years. It just went so quickly. It's been a wonderful experience. I've, really enjoyed campus and our students and our staff. And I can't imagine, anything better than my experience here at Buffalo State. Well, it certainly did make it very interesting. I will say that. So I've been in higher education. This is my 43rd year, so I've been around a long time. And this is my 5th campus. And I can say that I never imagined a global pandemic. I just never imagined it. And nobody, certainly I did not imagine that we were going to close down everything, including higher education. So by the time we got near spring break, it was important for the safety of our students and faculty and staff to not only pull all of our students back internationally, but to close campus and to really reboot everything and do everything virtually. So I gave faculty members 2 weeks to reboot their classes so our students could continue their classes and not lose a semester. And so what a heavy lift, for the faculty involved in doing that, but they all did it. And all of our students were able to complete their spring semester. And I feel really good that we kept students at the center. So in our conversations that we were having about how to make new policy and how to bring students back and all of those things, that one of the things that I always brought people back to is, supporting our students. So how can we make sure that they're safe, that they're supported, and that they actually get through their curriculum? So I can only say that I'm so happy how everybody was able to really work together and manage it and have our students get through that process. It was hard for everyone, but I believe that we all learned that we can work together and deal with a really difficult problem and also be responsible for each other and keep each other safe. So as difficult as it was, there were lessons learned during that time. So I'm a first-generation college-educated student, so no one in my family had ever gone to college before. And so just taking that leap to come to college was such a big step for me. And so I really relate to many of our students who are first generation or even second generation, that it was not a foregone conclusion that I was going to go to college. And no one could have ever imagined that I would be here with you as your president. That would have been just a wild, fiction story to even think about that. So my career has really been one of the power of education. The transformation that education can do. And so for a girl who grew up in a small town without any family members going to college, to end their career in their last 9 years being the president of an amazing institution is just a story that I don't think anyone could have imagined when I was growing up, or even in the early years when I was going to college. I really didn't know what I was going to do. I just loved to learn. I really love to learn. And so there's nothing more exciting to go talk to a faculty member or a student to talk about a topic that I know nothing about. And then they educate me and they tell me about the project they're working on or the class they're in or what they're writing about. And it's just sort of new things to unfold. So it's been a wonderful career, and I just continue to learn every day from my students and the folks that support them. I remember when I was new to Buffalo State and I went over to the Campbell Student Union and I was just hanging out, and I went to Spot and got coffee, and I was introducing myself to students and they couldn't believe it. They were saying, the president's just, is there a meeting happening? And I'm saying, no. They were saying, where's your entourage? Where are your handlers? I don't need handlers with my students, right? So it has just always been the greatest pleasure to get to know our students and to hang out with you and to find out about your wishes and your wants and your life journey. Everybody has a story, and our story is a collective story of all of our Buffalo State students together. So as you know, we just celebrated our 150th a couple of years ago, and so we've got a lot of time behind us, and I want us to continue to grow and expand in the work that we do. And because we are a campus that is so diverse and so connected to issues of equity and diversity, I want our campus to keep that at their heart. I also am in the great opportunity to talk to alums. I talk to alums from across all kinds of years, and they all really love their experience at Buffalo State. And one of the things they say is that they found themselves here. They really found their passion, whether it was a peer student or a faculty member or a staff member, that they found their passion here and that it allowed them to launch. And so what I hope for the future is that continues to happen, that tradition of Buffalo State being the place where you find yourself, find your love, and find the path that you want to do as you move forward. As I transition and as I go to retirement, you want to think that the folks coming behind you are going to continue to lift. And that's what Buffalo State students do. They give me that sense of hope, and they give me that sense that the world is really going to tackle some of these really difficult problems because the students today really think differently. They're not boxing themselves into small boxes. They're not only wanting to do what was done before. They're thinking creatively and innovatively. And we need that because the problems that we see have been around far too long. So I feel really good to know that we have these amazing students that are going to be leading as we move forward. I think it's really important to be a model and a mentor for diverse people around our country, around our world. That oftentimes when you don't see anybody that looks like you just can't imagine because you got to see yourself in it. So I remember years ago, I was in a program where they took young leaders, and one of the mentors I had was a woman president. It was the first woman president I'd ever seen. In fact, as I said, I've worked in all these campuses. I'd never had a female president, and certainly not an African American or anybody of color. And so meeting Ann Mulder as a woman president gave me the idea to think that a woman can be a president, right? A woman can do these kinds of things. And so I think models are important. I think representation is important. And just being who you are, you have no idea the impact that you're having on others. And when I tell them I came from this town of 600 people, in the Midwest, where I didn't even know anybody that had a college degree, if I could do it, you can do it, whoever that you is out there. So retirement is next for Katherine Conway-Turner. So when I came to you, we didn't have any grandchildren. Now we have 3. So they're hankering to see grandma. So I do want to spend time with my family. And I have 2 projects that I know I want to get to. One is that I want to write a memoir. I want to write about sort of the arc of my life and what it was like for someone who grew up the way that I did and had so many things to overcome to actually go through this amazing arc. And the other one, I want to write about being a president during times of crises. And so, so many things have happened since I've been here that were really crisis points. I mean, certainly the pandemic was a big one, but also there was a understanding of the racial tensions, which I think that people didn't realize it was as bad as it was. And so I want to talk about that. Just what it's like to, lead during crises and where you go to refuel yourself and how you just keep going. There are times, if something really bad happens to one of my students, it's hard to keep going, but yet I know that I have to. So I have to be the one that's out there so everyone else can say, okay, take a deep breath and we can get through this. And so I really want to write about what it meant for me to lead during times of crises. So much my heart here is with Buffalo State. I can't imagine being disconnected. And, whether I come back for activities or events or just the people that I know. So I do know that there are many of you who will reach out to me when I'm gone. So I want to stay connected to our students and faculty staff. So I will maybe not be right here in Buffalo, but I'll always be being gone.